Good morning. I found Erin's pastel pencils here and I was tidying up. I did quite a good tidy up in the kitchen this morning. I say tidy up, it's not like a normal tidy up because it was just mostly the washing that was like under and over the worktop and various things, and then I started tidying out drawers, you know the way you do. And so I found those pencils and I thought they'd be perfect out for describing those Hellebores and sedum flowers. But thanks Josephine for the flowers and the jug actually, which I love. But so it's a big configuration, so I thought I'll just do a little drawing of maybe the side of it, one side of it this morning, you know, where the foliage, hey stop it, where the foliage is coming down towards the window there and catching the light. Go away, Maisie. So I'm going to just use maybe a few pencils to draw with, and possibly the green little ink, I don't know, we'll see. For those of you who don't know, it's little ink, that's what I said there. I don't know who makes it. Marabou. Oh, Maisie, no, you can't start eating them now. Hey, no, out, go on. She can't be eating the setup like. Okay, here we go. So I thought I'd just maybe do, you know, a kind of considered drawing. I might start with the green actually, and I don't think I'm going to start with the green ink. Am I? It's blue. No, Maisie, you can go up on the other side, over there. You can go up there, but you can't be eating these. Yeah, I'll start with the dark green. I hope you can see the marks. Mightn't be so clear, but I hope for the best. No, I want to be able to describe the I would like to describe the one that's facing down there, would I? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to get that in, and I kind of feel like it's okay because there's enough going on with these other ones here. These other flowers. So this is a beautiful, I want to say wisteria, but it's not wisteria. Sorry about the noise, that's Maisie and chewing up one of her toys. I'll maybe use another green when I get to the lighter. Where's that other? Than this one actually, might be better. You know, sometimes it's really lovely to simply do a line drawing. With all the carry-on and all the vigour of other mixed media things, it's often quite nice just to do a simple kind of quiet drawing. You can't really see it, can you? Let me pull you a bit closer. Can you see anything now? I guess that's the only thing, isn't it? I might use the ink after all. I quite like the line of the ink anyway. It's a fine line. When I hold it down this way, it flows a little bit more freely. No, I'm not. I mean, I am responding to what's there, very faithfully responding to what's there. Whether what I see is an exact replica, that's a different story. And I'm just responding to what's revealed to me in the moment. I don't feel I have to do every single thing, and I don't feel like it all has to be. Well, I'm doing my best not to feel that way. But you want to have a certain amount of order. Like there is this thing of wanting it to read as true enough. Okay, so, and sometimes you flounder and get a bit lost, and that's all right. But I wouldn't keep going for a long time in that lost feeling. If you feel a little bit lost, I want to do this one first. I don't really feel that lost myself, but you know when you start to feel lost in a drawing and you don't really know what you're putting down in relationship to anything else, then I would suggest moving on to something different in the drawing. start looking at the flowers instead, or and recognize that the finding lines have a power all their own, and actually they're a lovely part of the evidence of the drawing process, really. I need to remember to tape my painting and drawing down properly. Tape my paper down. No, so these are I don't know what they are, but they're lovely, aren't they? And they were kind of attached to some clematis plants in my friend's garden. So this is like a climber. I want to say wisteria, but it's not wisteria. It's a lovely one though, really beautiful. And I've got some nice colours here in these chalk pastel pencils. They're quite good colours for explaining this flower as it happens. I might encourage you, if you were me, I'm not doing it anyway, but what I might suggest sometimes for this kind of a thing is to use your non-dominant hand sometimes. I'm actually going to do that because my other hand is getting a bit tired, and also I can feel myself becoming a little bit slow and slightly agitated by the process. That's not true. I wasn't agitated, I just had a sore bicep. So I'm just using the other hand for a while. And I think sometimes our other hand has a way of it's got a direct line to some sort of intuitive thing that maybe feels more the plant than sees it. I've gone all wrong with the leaves here. I need to draw that leaf again. I suppose I might as well continue with my non-dominant hand now and see how this leaf is breaking into the two of those. So that needs to be up there, really. That needs to be there. And then it's going to come down into this beautiful star-shaped hellebore that I've now covered with that leaf that wasn't supposed to be there. I don't know what I'm doing, but I like this anyway. I like this lanterny kind of, these lovely hanging wisteria style flowers. So I'm continuing with them, and I'm using a purple pastel pencil now because these ones are behind the others and I want them to read as though they're in shadow, and to me the bluish purple is more of a shadowy colour than the pink at the front there. I do also have my paint here now, and it might be an appropriate time to inject that. Look at that, isn't that lovely? It might be magenta, I'm not sure. Don't want to get trigger happy with that now, because actually I'm really enjoying using line on its own. So I just indicate a few little spots of that. And what about the hellebore there? I think I might just locate it a little bit further to the left, if I even draw it at all. But yeah, I will. So the sedum is here. The sedum, when I half close my eyes, all of that is quite dark, and then it meets the edge of that leaf there. I'm turning the pencil as I draw down so that it gives it a convoluted edge, recognizing too that the sedum head that's here is lighter than the star-shaped flower that's here, the hellebore, which is a different flower. It's got a lovely down-turning character, the flower. You see the other one that's going down there? I might actually fit that in, won't I, in the corner? You see? Yeah. And at the corner of the board there is, see it? Covering that lovely one. But I think I need to leave it there now. If I could put it like that. Alright, so here's the hellebore that's fully open, and that's reading as being darker than the sedum beside it. So I'm half closing my eyes and seeing the five stars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. Oh, Maisie. Come on, get off. I can just about see it beyond her. Obviously she hasn't had a W-A-L-K yet today. Maisie, get off. Hi. Off. Come on. Off. Go away. Off. No. Right, I'm going to need to put her out in the hall again, I think. Go away. And to get that stem. She does this rooting thing in the couch. Should probably discourage her from doing it, but you know, it's like she burrows into the corner of the couch sometimes. The girls want to get, I've told you this before, they want to get a new couch for Christmas. A corner suite. Can you imagine? We'd have to get a new dog as well, let's say, if that was the case, because that Maisie would eat it. She would just, I would say that she would certainly eat a couch if she was left to her own devices. I mean, the girls' trainers have been eaten and stuff, and my Crocs are up on the piano currently, and anything that really can be chewed if she's bored, you know yourself, like a small baby, really, toddlers chewing. She'll just eat anything that's in the vicinity. So my feeling is, and anyway, I did venture in. Lily was so keen to have a look. We did go to a sofa shop, and they said even if you did want it for Christmas, it wouldn't arrive for Christmas because there's such a backlog or something, or the whole COVID thing. So it wouldn't be here for Christmas anyway. Isn't it? I mean, for goodness sake, a couch for Christmas. Why would you? I just feel like if you need stuff like that, you get it when you need it. Maisie, you wouldn't be getting it like, you get it when you need it rather than just for Christmas. I mean, there's enough going on at Christmas, isn't there? Honest to God. The girls are talking about getting a tree already and thinking, holy cow. And it is time for it, like. It is time for a tree. Just using a bit of watercolor here again now, the sap green and whatever brown I've got there. Maybe it needs a bit more blue in that green. And I'm just going to place it in the bit where the shadow of the green meets the dark of the green leaf there meets the hellebore, because it is lighter on that side, the hellebore. And you see some more of that same kind of greenish colour here. And in some other places too. I wonder why does Maisie have to focus on the corner where I'm painting? That used to be the case too with models, right? If you said, oh, I'm drawing your mouth, sure enough the person would start smiling, or they would get like itchy lips or something. And I remember with my ex-husband, whenever he had a bruise or a sore part, I would end up, he used to say, why do you always find the bit that's sore? If I was giving him a hug or something, it would be in the sore bit. Kind of getting places, I think. I can see potential anyway. So I'm using a lemon yellow here now to get a lighter green. Maisie might settle eventually. Maybe she missed the yoga this morning as well. I'm just going to pretend there was 2 of those leaves so that this makes sense a bit more. Yeah, and I like things that help you to see that one part overlaps another. So there's this dark leaf overlapping the lighter one. So I'm going to fill that in. And then there's the... That was a real tortured whine, wasn't it? Oh, Maisie, honest to God. She's been out like in the garden a few times. Lily's off school today. She's not up to it. And you know, I'm having that Facebook sale this week. It's Tuesday at 12 o'clock. I'm going to post the paintings. There'll be some that I've done here on video. That'll be for sale. This paint I'm using is watercolor paint. And I'm just using this little tray of paint that I've got there. Someone bought it. I think I bought it for myself actually. What about the Hellebore thing now? I might just paint a general colour in there. Kind of a reddish green mix in order to make it quite a dull shade in here. With my eyes half closed, it's really quite dark in there. And there's a lovely wrinkledy kind of furled edge in layers that's catching the light. And I'm not sure how to do these things justice, but it's good to be curious the very first time you paint a flower anyway, and begin to find out ways of making it read as the flower that it is. It doesn't mean that you have to know how to explain. How could you know before you've ever done it? It's all just a bit like life. Here she goes again. Trial and error. A lot like life. Fail faster, someone said to me before. I'm not sure about that. Whether any of it is really failure. If we manage to get up and get on with a day. After that, I think you're already on a winning streak. No. I was going to do that one that's hanging down, but I'm not sure. Maybe just even an indication of it, because the situation is climbing towards urgency here with the canine. So I don't know if I'll be doing anything in very much detail today. I've certainly enjoyed this little meander with the Hellebore and whatever that climbing plant is. Josephine, you'll tell me, please. If you can, you could write it in the comments below. And I'll get on to the vase, to the jug another day. And the sedum, I think I could do a little bit of those. Yes, I don't get it, Maisie. I'm not sure what's up. See if I respond to that. No, it happens more. And I know she's been out, so she's not desperate for a pee or anything like that. I've got some friends who might be watching. Claire, you'll be saying, Aine, you're cruel. Because Claire, you love animals, don't you? So much more than people, I would say. Actually, that's a huge judgment. But, you know, I know that you've got a real affinity for animals, which is really lovely. And so do I. I look into Maisie's eyes and I think, isn't she gorgeous? And then there are days when she's a pain in the butt. Moments, I suppose, that she's a pain in the butt rather than days. So I painted underneath, and then I'm using the chalk pastel. And actually, the chalk pastel has a deeper tone with the wet paper underneath. Okay, there goes the stairgate. Lily, I'm doing a video. You see how the chalk gets deeper in tone as I run it through the water. I really quite like that effect. And I think I'm getting away without painting every one of those sedum flower heads, tiny little flowers, but just finding the clumps of them through this line work. Oh, here comes the sun. The sun is gorgeous. What do you think, Maisie? Ba, 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 ba. Here comes the sun. I know. It's good for her to get used to me doing stuff that she has to just wait. I think a bit of green in the middle there would be quite nice. There's like a lime green colour around the inside of that flower. Such a good feeling of like decadence. Everything I see at the moment, I'm thinking of Italy. And you know what? You may think this is really weird now, but I was looking at Michelangelo's painting of God and Adam from the Sistine Chapel. I've got it on the cover of a book, and I thought I might paint it on the living room wall. I might need to get the girls their corner suite then, because I'm not sure they'd be particularly keen on Michelangelo being on our living room wall. We'll see. But I can see it there in the wall behind, you know, where he's got his finger like that, and Adam is like, it's like the moment of creation, the moment of animation. Go away. Right. There's a green I hadn't seen. Now that might actually work better. Yeah, that's a good one for the leaves. What do you think, Maisie? Is that a good one for the leaves there? It's not very sharp though, so we're having to push it to make it work. Why was I talking about Michelangelo? Because at the moment I'm mad about all things Italian for some reason. I keep seeing Italian inspiration in everything. And this to me looks kind of decadently Italian somehow. They know their art, don't they, the Italians? And they know how to preserve and look after things like that. And music as well. My God, I was listening to Pavarotti the other day and the Three Tenors live from somewhere in Italy. I think it was Italy. Just all of that stuff is fantastic, really, what us human beings are capable of, the beauty that we're able to manifest. Seems pretty powerful stuff. And I reckon there's a lot to be said for, is it Joseph Campbell said something like that, you know, a society that's only investing in defence and all that is on its way down. And he said something about investing in beauty, and like the human being's natural response to beauty is love. That's what John O'Donoghue said, and I agree that when you see something beautiful, there's a stirring of love in your heart. Like even just looking at the sun through the trees there now, there's something that responds in me that's kind of not in my control, and it's good medicine, that response. I was telling my friend yesterday about Matt Haig's book Reasons to Stay Alive. He wrote this really lovely book, I thought. I don't know if it's everybody's cup of tea now, and maybe it might be very sensitive for folk who have relations who are suffering from depression, because Matt had a fairly severe case of depression. But anyway, in the end of the book, and I would say that he says that he might, you know, see himself as living with it really, rather than having any major cure or something. But at the end of the book he says, you know, these are things that help me. And one of the things he suggested was to seek something beautiful in every moment. And I sometimes find myself doing that on a day when I wake up and my thoughts are starting to take over, and I can feel the momentum of worry kind of about something trite really, and that doesn't really matter. I can feel that kind of momentum gathering speed, and so I might look out the window and something like those branches, bare branches with the sun shining through them, I'm going to show them to you before we stop. Something like that would jar me out of my old stream of thinking. So I reckon that Matt Haig's advice is good advice. When it works. No, I think I'm kind of almost done really. I don't know if I want to do any more to that. It's just a bit of frivolous mark making. I could try again with to create a bit of a line through it with the with this acrylic ink, maybe to deepen some of the tones in the foliage, just as a kind of a pathway through. Erin's headed off to school. She's going to send me a few things that she wants for Christmas. I love when they do that, you know. She's going to do screenshots or just links to the stuff that she wants, rather than me trying to guess. Like, I mean, they do kind of like a surprise as well, but I think they've discovered that you know, the surprises that I come up with, I wouldn't really, well, nobody can really decide on stuff for other people, I don't think. I don't know, some people are actually very good at buying presents, but often the surprises are things like their mom, seriously, you know. They're things that they wouldn't have chosen themselves at all, and that's fine, but they're things that they wouldn't have chosen themselves because they didn't like them, usually. So unless I'm definite about a particular brand of something that they like, I just let them tell me exactly what they want, and then there's no surprise, but I think we're all kind of okay with that. Trial and error. I mean, Lily's 14 now. We've been through a fair few Christmases where things went a bit pear-shaped. I'm hoping 23, like we've had a good trial run at it. Oh, what? I was going to do something there. Oh yeah, the other side of this. I feel like I want to show how the sedum is kind of pouring down. So I'm just going to do a little bit more to this seed head here, or flower head. My mother had, I was telling my friend who gave me these flowers that I remember them being in my mum's garden at the end of the summer. Oh, I've cracked the top of that. I've cracked the top off the thing. I remember them being in my mother's garden at the end of the summer, and like soldiers, there was like a line of these sedums like sticking straight up. I had one in my garden that was barely managing to stand upright, and hers were all like lined up. And she said she didn't do anything, they just came back. I think she must have propagated them and stuck them in the ground again. But Josephine was telling me there now that you can actually propagate, or you can grow those on fairly easily. Like after a few weeks of them sitting in there, she said, or after a wee while of them sitting in there, they'll develop roots so they can just stick out. Stick them into the ground. Maybe they won't develop roots, she didn't even go that far. Maybe I'm making that up. But I can just stick them in the ground apparently and they'll take off. That's what you said, Josephine. Now, if that doesn't work, I'd be fierce disappointed next summer. What am I doing? That was, there's another flower that's behind the stem that's sticking straight out there, so I thought I may as well throw that in as well. It's a hellebore too, I think. Maybe it's a combination, I'm not sure. Sometimes I find you really don't have to know what it is that you're actually painting. In fact, it's probably a bonus not to know. And even when I'm painting a face, I kind of try and forget that it's a beautiful face that I'm painting, and instead just see the darks and lights and how they meet each other on this particular face on this particular day. Do you know, that kind of thing? And then you're far more likely to see what's true rather than what you perceive from preconceived ideas. A face to be, it's a bit like that with anything, guys, isn't it? You know, in life generally, it's not so easy because we're all conditioned into thinking certain ways. But I think if we can lay our labels aside, very often we meet a human being, you know, or a tree or a bit of whatever it is, with far more capacity to love, if we don't have already labelled, if we haven't already labelled it as something that we're familiar with, and that, oh, they're probably this or that or the other. It's easy to say that, but sure, I'd say, like, I used to go to a therapist, and he would say sometimes, like, it could be just that you're wearing the wrong coloured shirt and somebody remembers a bad experience with someone having the same shirt, not consciously, but that it's locked away in the subconscious somewhere, and so you've got an adverse reaction without even any justification whatsoever, like in the present. So there we have it. We've gone full circle there now. We're creatures of capable of creating so much beauty, like Michelangelo and the Italian masters and all that, and musicians, and we're also capable of labeling something so that we see nothing but our own idea of what they're, whether it be, is that right? So we see nothing but our own idea. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's what I mean. Nothing but our own idea of what they are, and we can't see beyond that. I mean, I'd say like intimate love relationships are the best spot for that, as far as I'm concerned anyway. Got a great idea of what the person is, which could be nothing at all, like who's actually in front of you, and you miss the glory of that. Seems a bit of a human conundrum, the whole thing, but I'm no expert. I'm on my own, as you can see. Well, maybe you can't. I've got the children, like, but I wouldn't be an expert in relationship advice, and I have to say. And I suppose I wonder really about anyone who claims to be that, an expert, because we're all, I think, just finding our way. Yeah, there we are. I feel like I want to qualify saying I'm on my own, as though there's something about that that's less than or something. It's actually a very creative and fruitful time, and also sometimes lonely. But I find not so much, really, because I've got the girls and friends and things, and it's kind of nice to have a break from all that carry on. Woohoo! Okay, I was telling you now I was going to show you out the window the bare branches of the tree. I want to show you as well a nice calm Maisie. There's Maisie. And oh, for goodness sake, let me just lift this off. No, it's not going to look anything very much. You can't even see it, really. Those trees. There was something really lovely when I looked up and there was the sun was shining through them. And this is the wall for Michelangelo. Watch this space. You'd never know. And that's what happened today. And the flowers I was looking at over there, aren't they lovely? So I'll be returning to that phase sometime, the jog, because I love it. Look at it, it's gorgeous. Okay, have a lovely day. Bye. Tune in for the Facebook sale, 12 o'clock Tuesday on Facebook, on your Divine Paintings. Bye.